Okay, so everything should be fine. Wait. Just let me make sure that, okay. So welcome, and we'll do some, we'll do introduction class for the Neurographica. So for everyone who is new to this, it will be very beneficial for you. So Neurographica, it's a new method for self-help, self-care, so self-discovery, finding your place in the universe and really see how you connected to everybody and everything. Neurographica, it has two Latin roots. Neuro represents brain, what is going on in your neuron system, in your subconsciousness, in your consciousness. Graphica, how we can represent it in a simple shapes, in a graphica. So really how we can draw our brain, how we can draw what is going on in our subconsciousness. So this is the intention, and how we can not just express it, but how we can transform it so it will be easy to see and easy to make changes, to make some adjustments. Before we can move forward, we need to learn some basic steps. So today is going to be 2-hour class. There will be no break. There will be a lot to cover. We will learn some history about Neurographica, who, when, and by who it was developed or created. I will introduce myself, and we'll learn some basic steps like how to draw narrow line and how to do some roundings. So very important steps in Neurographica. And we will do some very important drawing for you and for myself as well, how to transform some specific stress or specific topic that you not satisfied with right now, and we want to change it, like how we can find new creative solutions to resolve it. So before we start, let me introduce myself. So my name is Anna Romanenko. I'm Russian. I was born and raised in Russia, in Siberia, moved to US about 19 years ago, and I live in Seattle area, Washington State, USA. So this is my home. I'm a certified Neurographica instructor. I'm a static coach. I'm practicing energy healing, and I teach people how to practice them. So I teach healers. I have my own company. It's called Healing Art LLC, where I teach people to use different art modalities or different healing modalities to help themselves. I'm certified family constellation facilitator. I'm wood carver, I'm artist, so I have all these different hobbies and interests. So now about Neurographica. I was introduced to Neurographic about 3 years ago by a friend of mine, and I loved it, how it was simple, how it was effective, how it was gentle, and how it really doesn't need anybody else but you. So you can work on something very deep, something very emotional, very intimate, and don't invite in this process anybody else. It's not isolation. It's still you can feel a connection to everyone, but you can do it yourself. So this is what attracted me, that I don't have to get together many people to work on it. So we will learn how to do it. I will give you the most important tool very soon. Another thing that I want to mention, that if you're interested, we have a class on Friday, starting new course. It's a 4 weeks course, basic user level, where we talk more about Neurographica, what kind of discoveries and meanings behind every step that we're doing during this process. So there will be some beautiful certificates from Moscow Institute Psychology of Creativity. So if you ever dreamed to have a certificate from Moscow Institute, please join the crowd. There will be a link under this post to the class. So if you want to sign up, please do so. If you have any questions, please leave those comments and I will answer them as soon as possible. I'm not sure if I will be able to see them during the live stream, but maybe Ned, my colleague, is going to answer them. So Neurographica, only 6 years old. It's a fairly new, fairly baby method. It was created by Russian psychologist Pavel Piskarev. He is a unique person, has a master's degree in architecture, and he's a PhD and professor in psychology, philosopher, and he heard a word neurographic in his dream. So the story is that he was flying from one city to another and he fell asleep and somebody told him the word. So he did not know the meaning of the word. Nobody used this. There was no such word in internet. So he started thinking, what can this word represent? And this is how he came up with the idea that neurographic is how we using the simple elements to represent what is going on inside of our mind. Is psychology, the most difficult part is really to see what is hidden. Because when it's hidden, it's hard to work with. But when we bring it from hidden realms to this visible, and it's become easy to understand what is missing and what we need to adjust, what we need to improve, what we need to change to make it work. Like when it's visible, we see what is not working and how we can fix it. So this is the biggest precious, like what I see in Neurographica. We make everything visible and it's become not a problem, it's become a math problem. So we just add some simple ingredients to change it, to fix it. So let's, what else I want to tell? That Neurographica is a very, it's a really science. It's not just intuitive drawing. There is a lot of science behind it, and Neurographica is recognized as a scientific subject. So it's very important to understand that we are not just drawing, it's not just doodling, because everybody's like, oh, I've done it before. Like, yes, but there was a different intention and different meaning. And every step in Neurographica has a very deep meaning. So it's connected to very important processes in our brain, in our perception to life. So before we can start, I want you to learn some simple steps. I'll switch my camera and we will work on it. So shall we start? So the first we are going to do, okay, let's see, I don't want you to see it upside down. Here we are. Okay, so first we need to learn how to draw neuroline. So in Neurographica, the most important part is like how we draw neuroline. Because neuroline, it's such a line that does not repeat itself on its way, and it goes wherever you don't expect it. So it's really some looks like a road or a river. So I invite you to practice those lines. Make them as curvy as you want. The narrow line represents process, how we're thinking, how we communicate, how we set up goals and achieve them. So all of this is represented by narrow line. And it's really the way you draw the narrow line, we can tell about personality, like, are you direct, or you going in patterns all the time, or you going in loops, or you maybe it's very hard for you to be direct and you're trying to be very curvy and going around and around and try to bring people the meanings but not always tell what it means. So make sure that narrow line is not a repeating pattern. Oh, wait, it's a drawing. So it's not a sinusoid. It's not other complex repeating. It's not a straight line. It's a line that really does not have any expectation. So it goes wherever you don't expect it. It's like a lifeline, like a line that represents life, that it really does not repeat itself. It goes wherever you don't expect. So I invite you to do like very fun, simple exercise. It really helps to experience what the narrow line is. Kids and some adults really enjoy this exercise. So I invite you to take some coin or any small objects, or maybe even the cup of this marker, and we slowly start pushing this element, and the item starts rotating, and it goes wherever you don't expect it. So don't do it very fast, do it slow. And you may try different speed. See? It looks different from what I draw, so we can do this with a cup as well. And see if you try different speeds, sometimes you go in loops. So it's a very symbolic. Oh, I have like 2 people here. So try to draw this line yourself or with a coin. So and see how they really can be very different. So if you're going to patterns right away, the coin will be the great exercise for you to practice, to loosen your arm, to loosen your hand. It's just different, and it could be very emotional. So the next step, wherever we have 2 lines crossing each other, we have an intersection. So each corner look like a letter V, and from ancient times, the corners, the spikes, the sharp angles represent conflicts, anger, danger, challenge. And when we see them, our body unconsciously get defensive. We start protecting ourselves without even realizing why that happens. So circles opposite. Circles represent harmony. They represent mother womb. They represent sun, moon, resource, peace, balance. They represent God. So we want to transform each corner in a positive meaning. And we are going to do it by rounding. So when we have a corner that looks like a letter V, we need to transform it in the letter U. So, and this is going to be soft curve, not a complete circle, but it will be soft curve. And we repeat it four times for each corner. So whatever we have at the end looks like a neuron connection, the neuron pattern in our brain. And it has a very smooth energy flow from each line. So we really establish movement of energy of our thoughts, of our communication. So because it could be different processes that represented by line. Be aware that sometimes we have a skinny lines. Let me show you. Like if we have a skinny narrow lines, and when we start rounding those corners, we have this bold spike. There is nothing safe about the spike. Like it's really, you can see it. In this case, if you have such a situation, make sure that you make it bolder the whole line, that you really make stronger the whole connection between those intersection. So, and it looks much safer and it looks much organic. So this is what we needed to learn about rounding. So transforming corners into harmonious curves and harmonious circles. Why do we need to use this narrow lines to connect everything? Because narrow line has organic qualities, and our subconscious mind allow ourselves to go deeper with this line to find the reason why are you not why do you repeat the same pattern over and over. So we have this beautiful natural connection to your subconscious mind. So this two steps I want you to, next step I want you to practice this roundings on this first page where we learn how to draw narrow lines. So I want you to practice just around some of them to make sure that it's easy for you. It could be very challenging, and I've seen some people don't see corners even, because corners, when we're working with symbols, the moment I said that the corner represents conflicts, and if you lived in a conflict area or in conflict environment, in family, that conflicts were usual and you couldn't do anything about them, at some point your brain stop recognize them. Like the brain say like, I don't want to stress all the time about conflict become my reality. It's okay, I don't see them. And you become blind to conflicts. The danger is that when you don't recognize conflicts, you don't recognize the danger, you don't recognize the symptoms that can lead to very dangerous situations. Wherever other people can recognize it, okay, so this people are not trustworthy, you still be blind because you're not seeing some of those aspects. You physically can be, it's not physical issue, it's not organic issue, but it's you're blind, mentally blind. It's very rarely happens So, but be aware, like if you don't see these corners, it just requires a lot of patience and working one-on-one, because I've seen such people. I have adults and children that lived in very difficult situations. Why it's important to recognize corners and recognize challenges and difficulties in your life. First of all, you can avoid them if you just recognize symptoms, and secondly, you can recognize whenever you are causing those conflicts. So this is important, like not just recognize when other people causing conflicts, but when you and your actions are resulting in conflict, in challenges. So this is important. Okay, so you see how it's different now. Like when I rounded all the corners, the whole drawing maybe still don't make much sense, but it's looks safe and it looks organic. It looks dynamic. So next step, we are going to do an exercise, and I want you to choose a topic that you want to transform, something that you are not satisfied, something that you are not agree with how it looks right now. So it can be stress, it can be maybe your job, maybe your conflict with somebody, something that you want to change. And we want to change before we go and change something outside. We want it to be changed inside of us. We want to be prepared for this change, prepare ourselves to change it. So choose any topic you want. Okay. And let's see if I have my clock is okay. And I will set up 2 minutes. So I will set up 2 minutes timer, and we will do some brainstorming. So to activate some emotions related to this topic, activate some associations to this topic, to make sure that we really have this accumulated some inner pressure related to this one. So are we ready? So the words, we will just write down words related to the topic. So for example, choose the topic. Let's say this, my topic today is going to be, okay, we started this 21-day marathon, and I want to make sure that everything is going smooth. So I want to release all this blockages that are related to this topic. You can release stress, you can release anxiety, you can release some panic attacks. So choose whatever you want to change, choose you want to transform. So, and I will do 2 minutes exercise, and we will just brainstorm whatever comes to your mind. The words can be repeated, bad words can be written. Nobody is going ever look at your list, only you. So be very honest. If you want to write some made up words, okay, so I invite you to use your native language, not always English. I usually write it in Russian, just to make sure, because some of the patterns are hidden from your childhood, and it's much easier to access them when you use your native language. What else? Names could be written in this list. Whatever is coming up to you, you write it down. So 2 minutes. Are we ready? Let's go. 2 minutes. So we have about 50 seconds. Okay, it's time. Okay, 2 minutes up. Okay, so we'll count how many words do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 30. I have 30 words exactly. Look at the list. This is list for you. Nobody is going to look at this, but see, maybe some of these words already give you some insights. Why is this word is show up in this list? Like, why is this connected in my brain, in my subconsciousness to this particular topic? So it's interesting. I'm like looking at the list and I don't even remember that I was writing them. Like some of these words like really just was expressed. So see what is really strikes you. Maybe some words is really repeated many times. I had one time repeated one word for 16 times before I can really let it go. So it could be very intense meanings in some of these words. See what was the last word. Last word is usually very interesting as well. Like what is a message in that word? See if you have a very few words, like less than, let's say, 10 words instead of 20. Usually 20 words means that subject topic is active for you, it's very important for you. If it's less, significantly less especially, it may represent the topic is not important for you, but most likely the topic is very painful for you, and it's so painful that you are not allowing yourself even think about it. So this is like you are suppressing it so much, and when it's suppressed, it's usually try to express it even more. So we want to let it go. We want to take it out of your body, out of your system, and express it. So now I'll show you how we are going to do it. Let me change my camera again, and we will start drawing. So this is where the drawing starts. So I invite you, or look inside of you and see like what kind of emotions right now activated. Is it irritation? Is it excitement? Is it anger? Is it anxiety that is really activated in your body? So put your feet on the ground. Take a deep inhale. Scan your body, like really visualize like you are scanning. See where all this restlessness, all this anxiety is living, and we scoop those emotions and guide them to your right hand. If you're right-handed, or we guiding to the right. If you're lefty, you guide it to the left hand, and we guide them to the tip of our marker. So I use a Sharpie fine point. You can use a color pencils, so, or you can use any different markers. Markers can be broken, so be aware, like if you have very fancy, very expensive ones, try to use something different because it will be, some of them like don't last long. So I scoop all this anxiety and excitement at the same time and guide to my right hand, and through the hand I guide this to the tip of marker. I take a deep inhale, and with exhale, I do some catharsis on the paper. So I really express it on the paper. So this is the mess. This is how much messy relationship, your relationship with the topic. So this is my relationship with my topic. So it's a lot of action and a lot of energy is blockages. And as you see, every corner on this drawing represents some block, challenge, or conflict. So next step, very simple. We start rounding. We start transforming our blocks in positive curves, in soft curves. So I start rounding every corner, and I make everything even. I make everything is bolder, because some of these lines are almost invisible. So I want, first of all, I want to make them bolder. I want to see every conflict. I want to make sure it's everything is visible. So I take responsibility to change it, because when I don't see, when something is hidden, it's hard to even create a plan how to transform it, to make sure that everything is easy to work with. Let's see. If you broken your marker, so congratulations. This is means that you have so much pressure inside of you, and it's good that it's a marker broken, not your heart, not your liver, not your whatever other organs in your body that can hold your emotions. So you really had a chance to express it. So we really let it go. We break markers instead of breaking our body. And I keep rounding. So we are rounding everything that is inside to make sure that everything is smooth, everything is safe, everything is harmonious. So we have this quite sometimes the catharsis, this doodling that we've done, this expression of our emotions related to the topic could be very intense. They can be sometimes very dark or very there could be so much, and it's this is how much pressure, how much emotions you have inside of you. It maybe take some time to round all these corners, but we're releasing this pressure, we're releasing this anxiety as we go. Like, you pay attention how's your body reacting, because you will notice that body starts at the beginning maybe very discomfortable, even just see this so many crossings, like it sounds like very big work need to be done. But notice when you start rounding those corners, your body starts relaxing, your body starts feeling calmer, safer. We become at peace. We become finding inner center where we can focus on, when we can have this support. First of all, we support ourselves, and we will have several other steps where it's important to finish. Again, like we are teaching our class basic user level, and if you want to know what this every step has a representation, please welcome. We discuss much more about the steps on this during this course. It's a 4 weeks course. Okay, so I'm rounding. So I work with Neurographica with adults and with kids. My youngest client was a 6-year-old girl, and everybody can do it. And my oldest was, I don't know, over 70. Some retired people. And it's really, the age doesn't matter. Everybody can do it. My father is doing it, my mom is doing, and it's my husband is doing. The only person in my family doesn't do it is my older son, but he is doing different type of art. Okay. So round or everything that is inside. This is how much pressure we have inside of us. And this is when we need to begin with. We're always working to transform ourselves, transform our perceptions, transform our stories, our belief systems. So we don't try to change anybody else but yourself. And people automatically will resonate with this change in your inner change, and they will be changing. Their behavior will be adjusted. It's not the intention to change them. It's to make sure that we change ourselves, and they will be adjusted beautifully. Like, so they will be they will surprise you, but most important, you will surprise yourself. So You see, I use like decided today to use just a uniball pen. It's really doesn't require big expensive materials to draw Neurographica. So this is I rounded everything inside. I work a little bit faster than usual because I've done it thousands times. So really don't compare with my speed. Slow down if you need to. So next step, you see how it looks different from what we've done first. Now it really looks like it has some meaning and it has some energy, different kind of energy, more organized, more structured. So next step, we are going to dissolve this precious catharsis in background. We are going to dissolve our pressure that is withholding inside of us in society. So we use the narrow lines to expand those sharp lines in surroundings. So we can, like, again, lines can go wherever they want. We don't try to stop them. We don't expect the going some specific directions. They always surprise you. Allow yourself to be surprised. We are trying to control so many things and losing this interest and curiosity in our life, like how we can be surprised. So we are reaching to society to express what we need, to express that we need some help, reaching out to get resources, to share some with them, and society reach us. Society is really caring about us. We are part of the society. The moment we reaching to society, we become a society. We become bigger, we become more powerful, we become more connected, we become happier. So you create those beautiful lines, narrow lines. They can divide, they can merge. So I have enough lines to almost dissolve this catharsis. I will start rounding. So why do we really need to dissolve our catharsis in the society? I love to compare that this yourself as a air balloon, and if you have so much pressure inside of you and there is no pressure at all outside, it will be discomfortable. At some point, air balloon will explode if there's such a significant difference between inside and outside. So consciously, we will look for this environment where the pressure outside will be even or proportional to what is going on inside of us. If you are experiencing like big stress and you're going to this lovely relaxed party, it's not usually, I don't feel comfortable. Like people don't understand what you are going through, and it's very hard to be around this relaxed people when you cannot relax, when it's overwhelming stress is going on inside of you. So you will create situations where you feel everybody is stressed as well, or you will find the people who are as stressed as you are. So that's why when I'm saying like we are trying to change ourselves, so we feel comfortable about this relaxed people, that we feel comfortable and we attract this relaxed people. Because in other people as well, like if they have stress and something deep going on inside of them, they will look for similar people in their lives. So if you want to be around relaxed people, you need to relax first. So we are creating this beautiful, comfortable environment for you. And we round everything with all these conflicts, all these challenges. We are rounding. We are make sure that environment around you is safe. It's as intense as you are, but it's safe. So, and you are feeling comfortable to release this inner pressure. So yeah, you can add as many lines as you want as you go. See this organic lines like roots. And you bring in more lines and you round those lines and you round those corners. I've seen different lines, like some people cannot even draw this line organic soft, like some could be very challenging in communications. So especially I worked with teenagers, like challenging teenagers, and they have like very dramatic experiences around communications. And it's very important to train yourself, because when you train your fine motor skills, like we're activating our body, we're really activating our physical processes in ourselves. And it's very important to feel comfortable about everything we do. So around all this corners, small ones, big ones. Okay. Okay. So we have. And we just keep rounding. It's really an art meditation right now. Like it's this state. When we round all these corners, we experience this zen sometimes that helps us to let go all thoughts, like let go all this expectations. We just enjoy the process, simple process. And it's a very important how we can calm down our brain and just enjoy the state of being, state of presence. I have several students, people who are drawing with me, like they really for some of them, like especially I have like several software engineers, and they restless mind, like it's very hard for them to calm down, like they always thinking. They always trying to solve some problems. And for them, it's very hard to relax their brain. And this is, I heard already several times that it's the only meditation they can do. Like when they keep repeating some small elements, they still do something. At the same time, they just, it doesn't require this really brain activation. So they can do and relax at the same time. So I highly encourage men to try it because it could be very healing for them. My husband said that the Neurographica is better than Sudoku because it's really calm down the stress. And it's keep focus. We keep focusing and we pay attention to your body, to your emotions. So as much as we love Sudoku, it's still be something else to try. Okay, where are rounding? So don't rush. Like if you need more time to round, to add more lines, please do so. Like you don't have to work in a certain speed. And I see that like so many people get stressed if there is some time limitations. And it's an opportunity for you to slow down, like really allow yourself to experience something that you can enjoy. If you need more time, you can do it. You can give it yourself. It's okay if you don't finish all steps, but if you enjoy at least one of those steps, it's more important than. And you will be able to see this video as many times as you need. And if you find it beneficial, you will be able to find it in our group, in our Neurographica group and on YouTube channel as well. Okay, I round this. In Neurographica, the quality of your drawing is really presented by how many lines you have. So the more lines you have, the better. So one more thing to mention, that the most important is what is going on inside of you. The drawing is just a reflection of your inner processes, but the inner processes are much more important. So look inside of you. What do you feel? How's your body reacting? What's your thinking about it right now? This is your answers are precious for you. So cherish them, treasure them. Like it's really important observations. It's your reactions to this topic that we are working with. You don't have to keep in mind all the time that, okay, so I'm working on my stress, I'm working on my anxiety. So you can let go this topic and just enjoy the process. But you don't have to remember or constantly repeating this topic. but we just observe. We constantly observe my body reactions, like what's my body, how do I breathe, how do I, and I'm like start breathing when I pay attention to my breathing. So how do I inhale, exhale? What is going on with my heaviness? Maybe heaviness in my chest, or maybe I can, sometimes it can be discomfortable. Sometimes you may start have a headache at some point, and it's okay. So there is some transformations that are going on in your body, and you allow it to be. So don't try to suppress it. Don't try to limit it. So we're trying to express it. We try to observe and let it go. We observe, we accept, and we let it go. So this is a very important. So there is no judgment. Oh, I have a feeling. There could be very strong resistance, like the best and the most common is like, oh my gosh, I'm doing some stupid drawing, and it's how I can expect that it will change my life. It will if you trust, if you continue drawing. So it may sound like very magical or mystical, and sometimes I know that people call this magical drawing, but it's changing life. It's really the gentlest tool to transform your life in a positive reality. Like I've seen like different modalities, I've seen different methods, worked with different people, and it's maybe not as dramatic, but it's as some people wish, but that's why you can give it to yourself as an independent instrument. You can work it with it without any guidance. We still invite you to participate in our group, because there are some trained instructors, and we can give you some clues, or just support. Support is very important, or maybe some, but you can use it yourself. You don't need anybody else to help yourself. You don't have to be depending on anybody. And like I love to do Neurographica in airport. Before any flights, I make sure that I draw, make a drawing, and I release all this, my pressure, inner pressure, and my blockages, and make sure that wherever I go, on which trip, everything will be smooth and calm. And sometimes, even if some challenges appears, I feel so calm and so at resource that nothing really can make me panic. It's I can start find the opportunities in any situations. And some of the situations later I remember as a fun experience, instead of like, oh my gosh, we had such a horrible fly. Any fly can be horrible, or any fly can be an adventure. So it's really your call. What do you want? Now it's much less profound, because there's no much fly. Everybody is trying to stay home. But in the future, very soon everything will be start returning in the usual. Okay, so next step, I rounded all my corners. I have enough lines. I can add them more when as I go. So next step is to round all the to color. So in Neurographica, we color when we start coloring, we connect with the same color several segments. And we, when I say connect, it means that we really going across lines. We really connect. We really make it looks united, connected. So you can just create this unusual shapes, or if you have like circles, you can color circles if they have this separate segments, and you just all these beautiful narrow lines that we have, they create this unusual beautiful shapes. I personally prefer to color this flow of colors, but you can color just the segments, not separate segments, but 2, 3, 4 segments together. And it's okay too. So for me, this will be this flow of purple. I encourage you to use at least 3 colors. Maybe like if you want to use more, please do so. There is no limitations how many you can use, but colors usually represents feelings, emotions, and we are such a complex creatures like humans that one color, one emotion really does not represent ourselves. So we can be much more interesting, much more brighter, much more emotional. So allow yourself to use different colors, different shades of colors, and see which colors it's going to be. So don't try to make everything look pretty. Try to see which color really wants to be here. Subconsciously, we have very interesting associations with colors, and some colors want to be on your drawing, and it maybe doesn't make any sense. Why is this here? Why is it so many of this color on this drawing? Allow it. Let's see what the message will be. I invite you to post your drawings under this video so we can maybe we can see what the message. There is some meanings for each color. We use a Chinese tradition, Chinese philosophy for the interpretation of these colors. Right. My teeny tiny pencil is see how small my pencils are. I use my extenders to keep using them. This is how much I use this color. My shortest pencils are usually yellow and purple. You may rotate your drawing, so I'm just trying to not rotate so it's easier to look, but don't limit yourself. You can do it as much as you want. So if you have a really difficult to choose a color, I invite you to close your eyes and pull from your color pencils 3 colors and blend them, like use them together. So see how much you can do with those colors, how much you can experiment with them. And we keep paying attention. How do you feel? Usually on, and I notice it's even now, like when I start coloring my drawings, I feel like an inner child is awakened. Like I have such an inspiration and this beautiful excitement about how is it going to look, what's going to, it's interesting every time. You can blend colors, you can use one color on top of another. Like if I use this flows, this flow can be overlapping. See how it goes. So usually we color like very nice, looks like when we have about 70% colored and about 30% are white or whatever like paper you use. If you want to color everything, it's an opportunity to like don't there is no limitations. There is like usually we do it like this, but if you want to do it differently, please do so. Don't feel that you are obligated to leave white color if you feel like no, this wants to be colored everything. Okay. You may do some shadings, you may do some blending with different colors. Like it's usually very beautiful when we use different colors or different shades of the same color. For example, you can, it may give you like really 3D effect. Very interesting. Okay, so I have 2 flows and I want to, which one? I want some again, like at the beginning, I don't have any expectations. I don't know how is it going to look. I have this freedom to experiment with my drawing, with my lines, and don't really try to force anything, but try to listen and see where this narrow lines, where this colors taking me, and observe. Like we're losing this very important skill, how we can just observe, how we can just enjoy what we see, enjoy the ride. We always have a goal, we always have a important destinations to reach, but losing this enjoyment in the process. So I invite you to reactivate this ability to enjoy. Because everything is a process. Your life is a process. And like if you don't enjoy the process, if you don't enjoy the everyday processes, it's very likely that you will be disappointed with life, because it's the final destination. You never know what is it going to be at the end. So I invite you to start having enjoy everything, your meal, your walk, your relationships. This is don't delay. Like okay, so I have this. Pencils. So if you feel like you want to use crayons instead of colored pencils, please do so. I have students who are doing watercolors, and it's very beautiful for coloring Neurographica, like very. So join our group. We will be able to see all these beautiful drawings, paintings related to Neurographica. It's could be very unique. So you try to experiment, see what is yours, what is your media. We use sometimes, quite often we use highlighters for coloring, especially when we work with big group projects. It's a great opportunity to work very fast on the project. Neurographica can be used for team building events. It's a very intimate process, how you can be connected emotionally and creatively in some solutions. So very interesting experiences. Okay, so this paint wants to be expanded. Okay, let it expand. You don't have to have any experience in colors, in drawings, in art to be able to do Neurographica, because the goal is not to create beautiful drawings, even it will be at the end, but how we can use the art to express our emotions, how we can use art to really change our life to something better, so everybody can do it. For some reason this pencil doesn't last very well. Okay, let's make a little bit brighter. This beautiful pink, make it a little bit brighter. Okay, so pay attention. How's your body feeling? Emotional. So do you feel that the same pressure as it was at the beginning, or is it relaxed and you really enjoying it? So any discoveries, any insights, did you notice anything in your drawing, in your changing, like maybe some very important discoveries about yourself? Just observe it, see what is going on with me. What really made you relax? Maybe it's a great opportunity to notice what is helping you to relax, or maybe what is causing the stress. Time could be a very stressful, that we have limited resource of time and that we need to work very fast. So what if you a little bit slow down? See how much you really will be able to achieve when you slow down, relax, work more effectively, and have done much more than if you would be stressed about it. Do you want to add any other shades of colors or any other tones? Okay, so I want to expand this purple. So next step is very important in Neurographica. After we color, we, as I already say, I don't know if I said it today, we have a specific vibrations. Every emotion has a vibration. And when we carry on this vibration, we attract other people. But the most important that universe, or like for those who are feeling comfortable, God energies, divine energies have different vibrations as well. And we want to be attuned to those vibrations. We want to feel comfortable about them as well. So we can, I want to create this little bit. We want to be attuned to them. We want to be aligned with them. We want to follow bigger plan, bigger purposes in our lives instead of just being doing your small job. Like there is always a bigger purpose in our lives, bigger meanings in our lives. So we want to be attuned. We want to be meeting right people at the right place. We want to be universe helping us to achieve our goals and to resolve this uh, topic as well, to find this beautiful resolution for our topic. So how we are going to do it? So universe is going to be presented by lines as well. So we have this we call them field lines, and field lines are lines that they are exactly the same as narrow lines. They have a little bit bigger wave because our universe is vibrating a little bit on a different scale than every human. And we bring in those lines and align everything like for the direction. So for example, I follow just those lines that I have already. Some of them like can create completely new path because we think that we are following our beautiful destination, but sometimes the universe thinks that we need to be corrected or guided in a different direction. So okay, so this is the interesting. I have this 2 and it could be 3. You can expand, you can divide them, and you can actually merge some of those lines. And it seems like, oh my gosh, I ruined everything. Those lines are just horrible on top of everything. So don't panic. We have a very interesting, very simple instrument. Now we're rounding all these corners. Wherever this field lines crossed our lines, original lines, it's created new corners, and we just round those corners. We integrate, we connect our divine lines, our field lines with this beautiful intention that we already created, with this beautiful drawing that we've done. So we round and we smooth every corner. If you have a challenge to draw, use marker on top of pencils, it's a very common situation. You can use a black color pencils to integrate these corners. Okay, so see. Okay. It's interesting. I expected that my lines will go along my black ones because the topic is not so challenging for me. But it's interesting how it's really created so many interesting corners. It's really created new paths, new guidance, that maybe something is going to shift. Something is going to be adjusted. We'll see. Again, if you want to participate in our 21-day marathon about big transformation of one topic in your life that you really have challenges and you want to join us, you can join us in our group, in our Neurographica Neuroart group on Facebook, where we post all our free classes, announcements, sharing our drawings, asking questions, feeling supported, feeling inspired and encouraged at the same time. So it's really a great place to be. It's a creative community. Okay. So you see how like right now this lines are really changing. Like when I start rounding and integrating them in the rest of the drawing starts melting and accepting it. It's there is no conflict between them anymore. So wherever we connect, we accept. And it's the field lines really give the structure, give the sense of directions, give this boldness in this processes that are expressed in my drawing. Okay. So we repeat this class, Neurographica introduction class, every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And it's always live streamed to our Neurographica Neuroart group. So, you're welcome to join us. Okay. Okay. Almost done. We have just one more important step to do, and it's opportunity for you to integrate this greater forces, greater powers, greater energies in our life, like feel connected to them, feel guided, feel supported by them. Okay, I think that's all for the field lines. See how it like they bold, but at the same time they are give structure. So next, very important, which element do you want to highlight on your drawing? It could be some specific element, it could be a specific group of segments. And sometimes you can see some shapes, but they are not completely defined. For example, I'll show you on my drawing. So I see that here is almost a circle, and I can use already some elements that be representing the circles, and I just need to define it a little bit better. So I use this I draw the circle it will be representing. So I did not have a chance to do it from the first try, so I did it 2 lines, and I round all these corners that it's created to make sure that it's harmoniously adjusted. Again, I integrate everything that I adding to my drawing. See how you want to round it. And here we are. So make sure that all your corners are rounded, that your element is harmonious. And you can highlight it. You can make it even highlighted with colors. Let's see if I can do it with my pink color. The circle in the middle, I want to make it bolder. And you see how it's really complex colors inside of it. It's a many layers of it. So many different shades of different colors. Pink, magenta, purple, some turquoise colors. So it's really some complexity in it. So it's a diversity. And if you want to make it even bolder, you can make it highlighted with even with a little bit black on sides to make it even more noticeable, to make it even more stand out, like a 3D effect of like a ball. Let's see if I can do it. So it's quite intense. It's not really, and it's really surprised me because the topic that I knew it's a marathon. I knew it's a challenge, but it's I did not expect that the drawing about it will be quite challenging. That it's going to be. Let's see if I can smooth these things. Okay. Okay, and where did it go? And I want to express this pink color on sides. It's connected. So when I do drawing, I don't really try to analyze which colors I use. I just use which one wants to be. Like I use my intuition, what wants to be on this drawing, and it's enough for me. Okay, so this is going to be the drawing for today. So it looks a little bit, colors looks a little bit different on this screen, but it's I will post a picture so you'll see that it's a little bit brighter than the camera can show you. Okay, so it was my drawing about my participation, my start of this beautiful marathon about transformation. So I believe there will be definitely transformation because it's there's so much energy in it, so much potential, and it's I'm looking forward to experience it. If you want to join us, please do so. If you want to learn more about Neurographica, please do so as well. Let me see if we have any questions in the group. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Wait. So much. Here we are. Here I am. Okay, there is no questions that okay, I don't see any questions right now. So let me finish then. Let me turn to you face to face. Say thanks a lot to you for joining us today. So please share this video with anyone who is can be benefit from this method. Like we are always open to hear your questions or any comments. It's always welcome. And if you want to learn more about this method and about the science behind it and the meaning of each step that we've done, you can join our course, basic user course. The link will be info box for those who are going to watch it on YouTube, and for those who is watching it live stream, they know about it. It's already in the group. All the information about the course. If you want to join our 21-day marathon about big transformation in your life, please do so. The information about it will be in the group as well. And info box, I will make a link. I will leave a link to the group and to the marathon information. So thanks a lot. Have a great day. It's a beautiful way to start marathon and a beautiful way to be connected to the very creative community. So thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye.